It may not be the result you wanted as the Raptors perhaps look to tank for the rest of the season, but you cannot deny what an excellent performance the Raptors had here against the Chicago Bulls in a resounding victory. Let's break down how it happened in tonight's post-game show. As a reminder to everybody, make sure you do hit that like button to support the content, help us get on some more YouTube recommended pages, and subscribe. We do Raptors content like this for virtually every Raptors game, even through the tank days and even through good games like this. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well to keep up to date and join the Amateur Hour Army today. But the Raptors here overcame a 16-point deficit. It looked like early on in this game that the Bulls were going to run away with it. We were in over our heads. We didn't have enough size to deal with the Bulls at the rim. We didn't have enough defense to deal with the Bulls at the rim, and didn't really have enough firepower and offense to go at the Bulls here. The Bulls had a really rough start to the season, but have drastically improved as of late. They got their record up to 22 and 25, in the mix for a playoff berth as well. 6-4 in their last 10, and in Chicago, the Bulls were favored here by 6.5 points, and you kind of understood why they were favored by that margin, even with a lineup that maybe lacks a slight amount of punch without Zach LaVine involved in it at all. But despite that, the Raptors had a rough patch at the end of the first quarter, had a rough patch at the start of the second quarter, but then really came on in this game, and with some adjustments, completely locked down on defense and got themselves a big win here. The worst pocket of the game, like I said, in that end first, start of the second quarter, Jordan Nwora, Grady Dick checked into the game. Jordan Nwora, by the way, another exceptional game here, but not so much in the first half. Grady Dick as well, not so much of a great game in general, but their defense and lack thereof showcased itself. And Darko was pretty insistent on using a zone defense for this period of the game, and it wasn't working. It took him a little bit too long to figure out that it wasn't working. Gave the Bulls a ton of momentum. But where the Raptors, once again, found success was on the offensive end of the court. They moved the ball extremely well, and in the second half, got some absolutely dynamite individual performances that helped lead to this win. Gary Trent was really the only one who had like a shining performance in the first half. Ended up having a great game in general, but the Raptors really moved the ball here. It wasn't Barnes' best night, so with no other discernible star involved on this team, the ball was moving tremendously. Raptors will finish this game with 34 assists. They have tied the NBA record for most games in a row with 25 assists or more at 30, and the indication would be that they will continue to add on to that tied record. If they can get 25 or more assists on Friday against the Houston Rockets, of course, they will break the record. But as I was mentioning with the team, moving the ball really well, Cutter's getting to the rim really well, and what's adding on to the Raptors getting more assists lately is the three-ball game. Ever since the trade involving OG Anunoby, the Raptors have been a much better shooting team, adding in shooting left and right. Even though they're missing size, even though they're missing guards and missing rim protection, they have floor spacing. They have guys who can shoot. That's adding on to the space on offense. That's adding on to the ability to kick out and hit threes. Adding on to the space for guys to cut to the rim and get easy buckets. And everyone right now sharing the ball really well. Now, it's usually leading to some pretty pathetic basketball in general, this sharing the ball method. But here, it was absolutely cooking against the Chicago Bulls when you're going up against somebody that wasn't Alex Caruso, who wants to get showcase how good he was defensively. Typically, the Raptors' offense is very lackluster, and there's no real firepower, no real punch to the offense. But today, they got it from a variety of different sources in what was, again, a fantastic night. Defensively, the Raptors made adjustments, played a lot more man-to-man, hard-nosed defense in the second half, took away a lot of what the Bulls were doing successfully in the first half in getting to the rim, keeping Vucevic out of the paint as much as possible. And again, all of this was done with a very high degree of success. And the Bulls, ultimately, even with decent shooting from the field, decent shooting the paint, could not overcome the three-point surge that we saw from Toronto. So let's take a look at the box score here. Thaddeus Young, unreal second half, ends with 16 points and 6 assists, 6 rebounds to go with it, 8 of 13. He's one who really smart making those cuts to the rim. And Scotty Barnes found him plenty. Scotty Barnes, not his best night, 4-14 from the field, 0-3 from 3, but still a nice 13 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal. Barnes was used a little bit too much in the perimeter, especially in the first half on defense. He's much better at defending down low. Would like to see more of that. I say this a lot, but when he was down low, we saw better from him. Bruce Brown with an exceptional game here. Wow, did he really stuff the stat sheet. 7 of 13 from the field, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks to go with it. A real showcase in the shop window for Bruce Brown for wherever his next team may be. Dennis Schroeder continues to produce solid numbers, 16 points, 10 assists for him today, 2 steals. Gary Trent, electric first quarter. I think it was a 13-point first quarter. Ends with 24 points, 6 of 11 from 3, 5 rebounds even for Gary Trent. He's starting to really come along in this recent stretch of games. A welcome sight indeed. On the bench for the Raptors, we really dipped into the bench. Jonte Porter left the game early with back spasms. Grady Dick got minutes, didn't do a ton with it point-wise, but the Bulls were privy to him. He was +2 in this game. You're really seeing his impact. Like his shooting gravity, he uses it well. He's not going to force up threes for the sake of it, but guys are always on him, creating space for his teammates, and he pump fakes and makes the right decisions, and we're starting to see signs. 4 assists for Grady Dick would indicate his ability to use that shooting gravity. Great stuff there. Even Garrett Temple got some minutes. Jalen McDaniels had one of his best games as a Raptor, 8 points on 2 of 3 shooting from 3. And Jordan Nwora, electric once again off the bench. 17 points in 19 minutes. 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. Confused why he wasn't involved in the closing lineup. Didn't hurt the Raptors, but it just felt like he could have gotten more. 13 points or more for 6 Raptors players today. They got a variety of sources contributing here, and it comes to great avail. They did struggle on the inside on defense, but they started giving up, some threes to the Bulls who weren't hitting him. Caruso hit his first 3 of the game, missed his next 5. DeRozan goes 0-5 from 3. Vucevic only takes 11 shots here. So overall, Raptors defensively got this one right and cracked the code. Great job by the team to sort this out. Not the most high-paced game, but an efficient game for both teams from the field. 52 for the Raptors, 51 from the Bulls. But the Raptors make the difference, shooting 48% from 3 compared to the 34% from the Bulls. They make the difference in the rebounding category as well, adding in a few more rebounds from those misses. Turnovers was a bit sloppy, 20 to 20 each. But the Raptors made up for the points in the paint, which at one point the Bulls were dominating, which got them out to that 16-point lead. The Raptors reversed that, didn't look back. They end the game with their largest lead at 11. So if you're for the tank, obviously this wasn't a great one. The Bulls are relatively close to the Raptors in the standing, and the majority of fans in the community have made themselves heard in saying that they would prefer, 78% of the voters say they would prefer to try and tank here. Look, the Raptors, they're going to win some games. They have talent here, evidently, with the way they played today. But long season ahead, I don't really know how to feel. Because I like to see success here. I like to see guys doing well, guys getting better. But I also understand the tanking implications. There are 17 and 30 now. Memphis in the mix there. Out of all the teams here, I only think 7 will bottom out completely. I don't think Atlanta will. Brooklyn don't have their pick. Golden State won't. Chicago, I think, want to be a playoff team. So Memphis may bottom out at some point, but for the Raptors, bottom 6 is very realistic, as we see here. Bottom 5 is somewhat realistic if they can lose some games, but they were 1-9 in their last 10 heading into tonight. You're going to win some games at some point, and here was a win from them and a good performance. Ultimately, I'm happy with the good performances, win or lose. Today was a very good performance, one of the better ones of the season, one of the more pleasing and enjoyable ones of the season. So I'm okay with this. I don't want to see the team fade off morale-wise. I agree either. Tanking still doesn't seem to be like the best case for this team. If they're bottom 5, they only have a 63% chance at keeping their pick. Bottom 6, they are only a 45% chance. And bottom 7 is like 31%. So, I don't know. To me, play the games. Try to win them. You're going to lose some because you're not a very good team. If you have your pick, you have your pick. But I'm okay playing things out to a certain degree and see where this team goes. But nonetheless, a win, a couple days off. Raptors, hopefully, putting some more work in. See what they produce on Friday against the Houston Rockets. Thanks so much for watching this. I'm away for that Friday game, so we'll be back soon on the channel regardless. We get to like 95% of the games this season, so please make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all the content we have for stuff like this, and drop a like if you did enjoy. We'll see you again very, very soon for more.